Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Lost in Translationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure 2020, episode 26, Breakthrough the Sea Monster Barricade. I'm May, and this time I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Hi!
Stevie won't be joining us this time, but they will send through their thoughts on the episode when they are able to. And with that, let's move on to the synopsis. This week's episode starts up with Koshiro having the realization from the end of the last episode, and I sure do hope it's how they can get to the digital world. Apparently not, but Hikari has us covered. Spoilers for later.
Yep, we got some Jesusing.
Yeah, which is like it's a thing. So we get to see what's going on in the digital world, and Taichi's looking through his telescope and says how he would never have guessed that they were all on a cloud the entire time.
You know, that place called Cloud.
Yeah, which is definitely a weird take, but whatever. And then Leomon says that he wasn't really sure either, and I'm like, oh, okay. Also something I realised, Labramon, was it Labramon and Namon? Yeah, where are they? Are they still on Cloud Continent? Because didn't they join the Resistance?
So I get the impression that the entire Cloud Continent just fell into the ocean. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess that means they're probably somewhere.
Yeah, they're somewhere, or dead, or just the writers forgot that they existed, which I was always surprised that the characters remembered that Namon existed enough to ask Leomon if they made it, but then we haven't seen them since, which is kind of like, and I was really hoping that we saw Namon again. I was really hoping that like he'd found a Bokamon as well.
So we could
I want the Gunpachi.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
They're very good. They're should get married.
They're
just Bert and Ernie.
Basically, and Bokamon says that they're a mummy daddy, so... Mm-hmm. Anyway, I love Bokamon and Namon. They were like the main highlight of Frontier for me, but we're already moving on to a season that isn't Digimon Adventure : so whoops, I'm going to catch myself there. So anyway, Leomon says that if they have no way to return to Cloud Continent, they have no choice but to just keep on moving forward. And I'm like, that's kind of like sad. Like that's his hometown. Or like, presumably his hometown.
Yeah, although like it's not like they tried very hard. We've tried flying with the one person who can fly, and maybe could do it if they weren't carrying passengers. Who the heck knows?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't just try, like...
I'm
flying Digimon exist.
Gonna take a shot in the dark and say there will be either a magic beanstalk and or a spiral mountain later. And going back, there will be a whole thing.
Or just cut out the stalk part, just a magic beam. And they just sort of, it's like a lift, but it's just a magic beam.
You know, yeah. We could go a little Dark Tower with it.
Yeah. And, like, something I've noticed about this whole exchange is that it's almost... like, the last episode could have just been written away in a single line of, like, oh, we fell and now we're on Eldoradimon.
Yep.
Like, I feel like we're not going to have any, like, moments to sort of mourn the loss of all their Marmimon that we killed.
Oh, no, we forgot about them already.
Like, it's almost like episode 25 just did not exist. Like, nothing... Even though it wasn't, like... It wasn't true filler because we got from point A to point B, but... it was enough that if we took out that episode and put in one, like, throwaway line at the start saying, oh, we just fell from the sky, it would be probably even better than having the last episode because the last episode was so bad. Yeah,
just replacing the last episode with the recap from this episode would have been pretty much fine.
Yeah, like, so that makes episode 25 completely skippable if you just... There's a recap. So... It feels so weird. Like, I can't remember many other episodes where the episode before it, except for maybe the evolution episodes, but the evolution episodes at least have an evolution. It just feels kind of... I don't know, it feels weird that you could just sort of ignore the last episode.
Yeah. No, it's not a great sign.
No. But at least, like, plot things do happen in this episode, sort of.
Yeah.
Well, in the last 5 minutes, sort of. And then, suddenly, a Bidramon shows up with Seedramon, and they start to fight, and I like this. I really just love how they're just fighting, and it's completely territorial and instinctive, and Seedramon ends up eating a Bidramon, which is, like...
It's weirdly violent.
Yeah, like, and the way he, like, chomps down on it is just like, well, a sea monster would eat a giant shrimp.
Oh yeah, no, like it makes a lot of sense. They hung a lot on blue glowing blood this week.
Yeah, which is it's like data. It makes I kind of like the.
Oh yeah, I'm just like
blue,
they definitely They probably got away with more than they really should have, because if you just changed the data to be red, it would be pretty screwed up.
Yeah, but like I love this part, and I've always loved that when we see like monsters of the week that aren't just like randomly evil. Yeah, like I would much rather prefer a Digimon who's attacking the kids not because the plot said so. Well, I mean the plot obviously did still say so, but there's no reason beyond that. Like, what was Devimon's motive?
I still don't know. Pain. Something. Like, didn't get over his ex.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know if we're ever going to get anything. And maybe even, like, Devimon in the original, like, he didn't have much of a sort of plan. He was just annoyed at the kids existing because they were stopping his... Yeah, he had a prophecy or something, which the prophecy ended him dying anyway. Whatever. I don't know. So, yeah, I would much rather prefer, like, in the first couple of episodes of the original adventure, how we had, these are Digimon. They're not evil. They just, they're kind of just territorial and they're giant monsters, and we kind of have to fight them, not because they're remotely evil, but because we're here, they're here, and they're going to kill us if we don't, like, fight them or run away.
Yeah. It's weird that we have Patamon to translate for them.
Which I kind of like when he says, he's calling over, he's saying, like, there's food over here.
Yeah, well, like, that part I was fine with. It's just, I don't know, it's weird that we're just going to have one of the voice actors we already have on the payroll do all of the interpreting for this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. Like, I do like how this sort of, the bestial cries that Seidramon has when he's calling out for backup, basically. It's just kind of like... Yeah, I dig that. So yeah, Seidramon eats and evolves to Waru Seidramon, which is also great to see a Digimon who we haven't really seen much. We've seen him a lot in the Virtual Pets.
I was going to ask you if this was new or not, because I did not know this was a thing.
Oh no, it's super old. It was in the, at least old enough that's from the Pendulum X, which is, I want to say, close to 20 years old? Like early 2000s, I think 2003.
Fair enough.
So, like, which is just, like, it's sort of seen as, almost like an X evolution, but without the X antibody part in the name.
Yeah. Also, do you think Bad Seedramon's going to be an ally?
Bad Seidramon? I hope so. I like Seidramon.
Yeah. No, just, like, that's the name. Bad Seidramon.
Yeah, that's the name. Bad Seidramon. Yeah. Well, that's the same with Waru Monzemon. It's just, I thought it was always meant to be like Waru, as in, before I knew Japanese, obviously, I thought it was meant to be, it's kind of like where, but...
Okay, yeah, I could see how you'd get there.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, meant to be like a devilish one, but I guess, like, it kind of is, but no, it means, Waru is, like, to be bad, basically. She'll just call Bad Seidramon. He's a baddie. He's such a baddie that he's in his name.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was really happy to see another Digimon come up from, gosh, ages ago, and I don't think he's ever been in the anime, maybe?
Not that I can recall.
But, no, he's been from a couple of other things, and I was kind of like, I know that I don't want them to pull out another Evolution 2 Ultimate, but he evolves into a really cool version of Seidramon called Giga Seidramon, which is just like a Mega Seidramon, but has, like, his face is more rounded.
Interesting.
And kind of adorable. I don't know, I prefer Giga Seidramon to Metal Seidramon, not Mega Seidramon.
Yeah, yeah. I was honestly surprised they didn't pull out Metal Seidramon this week.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe that'd be weird because we have a Dark Master Dark Evolution, so...
Yeah, like, I thought we were going somewhere with that, and we're, I think, clearly just not.
You wanted this show to go somewhere with something?
I know, I wanted it to, like, surprise me slightly.
Yeah. Oh, it's not gonna... I mean, I was surprised that we had Warrior Seidramon. Yeah. Like, that is a surprise. Like, I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm glad that I mean, I know we do end up pulling Mega Seidramon out later, but I'm really glad that we also look at Warrior Seidramon as being in existence. I don't know, it just...
Yeah, no.
I'm really happy to
It's good to pull out, you know, the toys from 2003 that you've never even played with.
Yeah, like, and that's what I really like about this season, is that I know we're getting some new Digimon designs, but we're also getting, like, older Digimon that we've only ever really seen in maybe the Virtual Pets or in V-Tamer, like Neo Devimon. Even though this is the first time he's ever made an anime debut, I'm fairly certain, he's been around since V-Tamer, so very early 2000s or even late 90s, and he's also been in the Virtual Pet, the Digimon Pendulum Progress, which is also from like 2001 or 2002, I think. So it's just really nice to see, like, all these Digimon come up that are really old. Like, haven't ever really been showed in, like, a fairly forgotten and underrated and underappreciated Digimon.
Yeah.
So that's at least something that I like about the show, is that we get to see these Digimon, and I get to mark out that we haven't seen any of these Digimon in the anime. It just, at least there are some positives there.
Yeah.
Back to the human world, Koshiro explains that the issue with the ships could be solved without fighting the Zurumon, and they just have to fix this bug in their GPS. And then we get, like, this really, like, long discussion about how hard it's going to be. I'm just kind of like, surely fighting the swarms of baby Digimon would be easier than this whole plan.
This is such a weirdly detailed problem with a pretty reasonable solution. Like, the amount of time they put into this thing, I can't bring myself to care about.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Koshiro says they have no other choice. And I'm like, you kind of do. Like, it's fighting the Zurumon.
You could shoot
I know.
Things.
Yeah, which I don't think hordes of baby Digimon are going to be a problem for 4 perfect level Digimons, right?
Yeah, like, I'd have at least liked to see them try and then go, oh no, they're doing our war game again.
Yeah, like, I don't know why they didn't even try. They just sort of looked at them like, well, that's a lot of baby Digimon.
Yep.
There are too many. Believable.
They're doing literally nothing to us. There's just, like, a lot.
Yeah, they're just kind of there. And I'm just sort of, I don't know, it feels weird.
That they don't even try even while Koshiro is doing his magic keyboard thing. Like, y'all could have tried to help. It would have made things a little more interesting to have something to look at besides Koshiro tapping.
Basically, yeah.
And hacking into every boat in the world.
Which, again, I feel like fighting the baby Digimon would be slightly easier, perhaps. Back to the digital world, Warrior Digimon is about to attack Takeru, so both Agumon and Gabumon evolve, and I'm not really getting the time frame here, because I feel like Warrior Digimon would be faster attacking Takeru and Patamon than Agumon and Gabumon take to evolve.
Yeah.
It just...
Well, and...
Which makes... Yep.
Like, last episode, y'all went up to perfect again. Like, give me some consistency here. We didn't even discuss the possibility. Like, they could have just dealt with this.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have. And also, I don't know, it's one perfect, but they also do have a couple of adults on their side.
Yeah. I just, once 2 perfects show up, and we still don't, because we're waiting for the kids who are finally important enough to be in the show again to show up right at the end.
Which is fine. They realised that they could fight. That's fine. I'm fine with that. They remembered that they were relevant.
Right. I forgot we could use violence.
Yeah, we never tried. We just thought we could hack the net.
He hacked the planet.
He did hack the planet. That is what Koshiro does. Koshiro is Captain Planet, really.
A little bit.
Warrior Digimon is beaten back and then starts screaming underwater, and Patamon, and this is what we said earlier, is translating how he's saying, hey, there's food over here. And then he basically summons a Mega Digimon, and at this point it's getting kind of weird of just like, why aren't they evolving to perfect? Like, even when Taichi's Digivice glows when he's drowning, he doesn't evolve to perfect. And considering we've just shown that evolving to perfect isn't as complicated as it could be, it's just them, like, shouting their Digimon partner's name. He was
underwater,
real good.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, but Yamato could have. He wasn't drowning to his death, or
That's
presumably
true.
Drowning to his death.
Also, God, when they do finally evolve and they come out of the water, like, Taichi just got the bends.
Yeah, like, Taichi should be, like, unconscious at the very least.
Yeah. Nitrogen poisoning is bad for you, kids.
Yeah, also, he was holding his breath for, like, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So either he has, like, the best lungs for, like, any 10-year-old, or I guess we could say that there's digital world weirdness and the water isn't, like, water, like in Tamers.
He's just that good at soccer.
Yeah, he's just holding his breath. We see, like, his cheeks puff up. Also, again, I know it's a minor thing, but why aren't we using the goggles?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I wish you were wrong.
Yeah, I wish I was wrong a lot. Taichi tells Yamato to get Patamon and Takeru out of here, and that's a really weird choice because there are only two perfect level Digimon that they could fight if they evolve. And then, anyway, Yamato gets immediately cornered by the Warrior Digimon anyway, so it's kind of like...
Well...
What was your plan here? You know there's 2 perfect level Digimon, and you know that Taichi's only fighting one of them. Where do you think the other one is? Also, have you considered evolving?
Nah.
Like, also, I would like to point out, and this is another thing that makes episode 25 even worse, is that at the end of the last episode, even though we were exhausted the entire time, at the end of the episode they were really exhausted, and surely only a few minutes has passed. I know they ate at the start of the episode.
Yeah, I guess that's what we got. But in that case, you should have been able to go up to perfect even sooner. Like,
yeah. Like, it's also, like, I know that food is seen as, like, something that recovers you in Digimon, but it probably doesn't cure, like, that level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just some weird things that are still hanging from episode 25, I guess. But also, if you're saying that you're not exhausted anymore, evolve to perfect and not struggle. I know that in plot you can't because you need the other good characters to be big damn heroes, but yeah, it feels weird. At least give us a reason why we're not evolving.
Yeah, it's just not very good. It's fine.
I mean, it's very Digimon. Like, a lot of the time, Digimon has a problem with just forgetting that they can evolve.
Yeah.
And anyway, we go back to the human world, and Mimi is screaming excitedly, and then Sora reminds her that Hikari exists, which is just so hilarious that the majority of the cast, except for Sora, seems to remember that Hikari exists.
Yep. No,
Like,
it's the worst.
That's just, it's peak Digimon. Like, just forgetting, well,
Why
Digimon
wouldn't
colon,
you just
rather.
tell her? She's... Hey, you know how your brother's considered, missing, possibly dead? We know exactly where he is.
Well, I think Hikari Hikari already said to her mother,
Well, I know
Taichi's
she knows,
okay.
but they should not know that she knows that. They should not be
Yeah.
aware of Jesus thing yet.
But, like, also, kind of, like, I know there's only a couple of years of age difference, but surely this small 8-year-old staring at you the entire time is kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Also, nobody acknowledges that she's there, like...
Yeah,
kind of
like,
weird.
all you have to do is be like, hey, so we're, playing a computer game. Come sit down.
Which I hope the dub does something. Like, if we get a dub of this season, I hope we get, like, oh, don't worry, we're just playing a video game. Like,
Would
anything
you like
to make
play
this...
a game?
Basically. Like, I don't understand why they're not,
Something?
They're kind of being a little bit rude to Hikari, to
A
be
little
honest.
bit,
Like,
but-
they're just... Like, they see her, and they turn around. Like, Sora asks why she's there, and that's it. We don't get any conversation between them after that, so for all we know, Sora just said, why are you here? And then turned around. Like, Hikari
Is she
doesn't
just
exist
used
unless
to
you're not looking at her.
Hikari not doing words? Is Hikari non-verbal? Because that would be kind of badass.
Well, we've seen her, like, say, like, a few lines, but they're always just involving Taichi.
Yeah.
Like, it's always just... I'm worried we're going to get, like, Takaru and Oni-chan again, but with Hikari this time.
I really think we are. Also, like, the way we can save this is just be like, yeah, this is 2 kids with autism. It's fine. Everyone's just okay with it. But that is
Everyone's
not
fine.
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen in Digimon. And if it does, like, that'll be surprising.
That would be amazing.
Then we get back to the digital world, and there's a battle, and Taichi falls off a cliff, presumably to his death. And Greymon is also beaten up by Mega Seedramon as Taichi is drowning. And then, no, apparently Taichi's able to hold his breath for much longer than a 10-year-old should be able to.
Meanwhile,
which is
just all of the other Digimon just start randomly firing into the water, and no one hits him.
Yeah, it feels like it's kind of like the Commandramon, like, 10 episodes ago. I think maybe it was less. It feels like it was like 10 episodes ago, where the Commandramon are shooting, and it's very Star Wars, and just like that no one's hitting, no one's grazing. The only time that the laser beams hit is when, like, Leomon, like, tries to deflect them with his sword, which seems weird because they weren't hitting anyway. Like, nobody knows how to kill children in this show.
No, and it's my lawyer tells me I should not finish this sentence.
Like, I don't know, like, that's the thing I liked about Puppetmon in the original, and I know, yes, we're going back to another Digimon season, which isn't this one, but Puppetmon, like, tried to more or less kill the kid. Ken, as the Kaiser, he had, like, he
literally
often
kicked a puppy.
Yeah, he kicked a puppy. He tried to kill the children. Piedmon didn't try to kill them, but he kind of turned them into dolls, which was, like,
close-ish.
somewhat creepier.
Yeah.
Like, it was creepier. Like, what is he going to do with them? Like, just going to keep them there? Like, thank you, Digimon version of Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. Like, it's creepy. But, and I don't think Myodasmon tried hard enough to kill the children. But really, we don't have a lot of Digimon who try to kill the kids. So, yeah, just why are they so bad at killing children? It's probably not that hard, right? I would assume so. They're very small.
I think so, yeah. Like, I feel like I could, just punch out a few of them.
Yeah, like, just, I don't know. Like, also, Mega Seedramon just ate a giant shrimp thing. So, I don't know why... Okay, Devimon did Vor, and we saw that, and that was great. Why don't we have Seedramon try to do the same thing?
Yep.
I don't know. So, anyway, we see the human world again, and Joe mentions how Digimon eat data, and this is like a feeding ground for Digimon. And then Atlas Kabuterimon knows that the black sparks coming from where the Zurumon were eating, and then the Zurumon just disappear. And Koshiro says how the energy must have been sent to the digital world, and something must be happening. I'm guessing that this is something for the next big bad that we haven't seen yet. Presumably, maybe it's going to Dark Knightmon, though I would not be surprised. Make sense. Yeah, I would not be surprised if we don't see him again, because that seems very, like, on brand for this show so far. And, so the data's being sent to the digital world, and then Hikari says that she's being called, and then just straight up lights up and transports them all to digital world, which is... Like, it kind of makes sense because Jesus powers, but it's also fairly lazy writing. Like, we're not going to have to try to work out how to get back to the digital world. Like, no one... That's been of no one's concern.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like... And why now? Why is she being called now? Why was she being called when her brother was being vored? Why... Like, she was basically there for like a while now. I don't know why she didn't just say to the kids, Taichi's just been vored, or Taichi is okay, or something.
Something, yeah. Like, and also it has... apparently we just have two different people with magic powers that include the ability to just open a gate in a magic gazebo.
Yeah, like, it's very much like... I feel like it's lazy writing. I know that, like, it makes sense because Jesus powers, but...
No, it's so lazy, because, like, we literally had a character go from... she said maybe 7 sentences, but also she just has the ability to magically move them back and forth between worlds at will.
Yeah. And
it's fine. Also... We're not going to ever use that again. It's only going to allow us to be terribly lazy writers and get some of these kids out of the way long enough to have the important kids fight the big bad.
Yeah, and also, like, I have a few questions. I wonder who is calling her. Is it Ophanimon/Tailmon, or is it Homeostasis? And I really hope it's Homeostasis, and I really hope that we still get Evil Tailmon.
Yeah, that would be rad.
Because if it's Ophanimon, that sort of implies that Ophanimon is, one, still Ophanimon, or Angelwoman at least, and 2 is good. Because, she's doing, like, it's white light, she's calling the main characters back to the digital world. That seems like a thing a good Digimon would do, so I kind of really want, like, just a straight up evil Tailmon who knows who she is, but has just become a bad guy. Like, she still has her memories of being, like, the holy Digimon, or, like, one of the legendary warriors, or whatever they're calling what the partner Digimon were originally, but she... is like, she's completely aware of that, but she's like, no, I'm mad for this reason, and I hope it's actually a reason. I hope it's not just like, no, I've decided I'm bad now. So, I don't know, but I'm hoping that it's not Tailmon that's calling her. I hope it is Homeostasis, as much as Homeostasis is quite often written as, plot. Like, it's magic plot.
Yeah, it's just Deus Ex Machina, this is what the writers say.
Yeah, it's just, yeah... It's very much always just been, well, we need to give exposition or get characters from this location to this location, or have some plot magic going on or something. And that's usually what Homeostasis is used for. In Tri-Shu is used for exposition and also as kind of like a little bit of a baddie, or sort of. And then in Original Adventure, it was for exposition. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate if we get Homeostasis, just because, like, that's part of the lore, and the more lore that they put in, the better the anime has a chance of being, because lore equals plot, equals explanation, equals possibly not terrible. But, yeah, so they get transported to the digital world, and then we get back to the digital world, and Taichi's underwater and still alive, and his Digivice glows, and everyone attacks Mega Seedramon after Greymon just rides it to the surface, And then another Seedramon shows up as well as another Warrior Seedramon, and another Mega Seedramon, and another Seedramon. And then Taichi hears Hikari's voice and he does have a reasonable reaction here of like, what? Like, which is fair. And then Zudamon shows up to rescue Taichi and Agumon and the rest of the cast fight, which is pretty cool. Especially Lilymon saying, "Excuse me," as she fires a cannon that breaks the Seedramon's horn. So that's pretty cool, just like entering with, "Excuse me," like, I love her. Thank you, I'm so glad she's back.
Lilymon's so good.
Lilymon is so good. I'm so glad that she's back, and hopefully will no longer be... these 4 kids' Digimon won't be as weak as Paper, which is what they have been fighting as. They just felt a lot weaker than they should have been. And then we learn that Hikari is here too, and Taichi's reaction is, like, I know he'd be stunned and shocked, but his reaction is fairly empty.
It's very nothing, and they had better give me a reason for this, because as it stands, it's just like, oh, right, he literally looks like he just remembered he has a sibling.
Yeah, which is hilarious in the whole, like, not the show's running gag, because it's not on purpose, but our running gag of just, like, no one remembers that Hikari or Taichi exist if we're not immediately looking at them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like...
which is, yeah.
The Yagami family has been cursed to forever lack object permanence.
Like, they had another sibling once. His name was Daigo, and he had a Bearmon, but since he disappeared, we don't remember him. That was a sad part in Try.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so I know that he's probably in shock. Like, if your little sister randomly showed up when you're in the digital world, for one, I'd be like, what? Because I don't have a little sister, but presuming I do, I would be kind of a little bit surprised, but I feel like I would have much more of a reaction than just like, huh?
Yeah, no, like
and just
you gotta
this
give
empty
me
sort
something.
of look.
And I was gearing up for Hikari Oni-chan.
Oh yeah, me too. I was like, oh well, because we know the writers so far, we know that they're like that, and they sometimes be like that. So we kind of got it. We were like, she said Oni-chan, and he was like, okay, forgot your name, just it'll come to me, don't worry. Like, it's like Professor Oak.
Familiar.
Yeah, you look familiar. We've got vaguely the same sort of hair colour.
Are you a boy or a girl? No.
Yeah. What is my grandson's name? Like, I don't know. Like, and the funny thing is, we know that we're getting a new ending animation and song next week for episode 27. So I just really hope that we just don't have Hikari in it. Just because that'd be hilarious.
Or just like a blink and you miss it.
Yeah. I mean, we've barely seen Hikari in anything. We saw Takeru in the ending song with Patamon and also the intro, but Hikari's there too. But in the ending song for like quite a few episodes before he showed up.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just like, we're just forgetting Hikari exists, and it seems kind of weird because she's been in the intro since the first episode with Tailmon, who has been in the shadows, which is why I think that she might be even more evil than she was in the first time round.
That would be so good. We're not gonna get it because it's too good.
Yeah, like, I don't think, yeah. I know I say this every few episodes, but I don't think that's gonna happen because it'd be too good. Like, I don't know. So... then we get a voiceover update about how all the ships have regained control and a military clash has been avoided for the time being. And then Taichi asks Hikari why she's there, and she just says that she was called, which, thanks Hikari, you have no character at the moment. Like, I hope you get a character soon. To be fair, I don't think TK really has a character yet either.
No, they are both like, just Jesus, and... as far as I can tell, there's not some deeper thing about it. We're just being bad at making them mysterious.
Really, we just have creepy magic children.
Yeah, they feel like they're going to send you out to the corn.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. And also, the thing I liked about the original is that TK, as kind of, like, slightly annoying that people would find him, he had a character. He was a crybaby. He was... and then he grew out of that. Yeah. But in this season, have we even had TK being afraid at any point, despite quite
he just
often
yells
being faced with
Yamete.
death? Like, I know that's kind of cool that he would, like, stand up against, like, giant evil Digimon, but...
you gotta give us a mix. He has to not just be, like, gonna get yourself murdered tomorrow brainless. about these things.
Yeah, and it's not. We don't even have like a shot of him being terrified, which this situation would be terrifying not just to an 8-year-old, but to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You're faced with the devil. That's scary. Or a giant evil bird. That's scary. Falling to your death. That's terrifying. Like, none of these kids have, like, any fear to them, which makes it seem... Like, at least in the original, we had, like, a bit of a plot device of, oh, we don't know what will happen if we die. We're assuming because we're in a simulation, so we'll be fine. But at least that gave them sort of a reason for being slightly on the brave side. But they don't seem to fear death at all.
No, and like, I don't know, I think if you're gonna show me that these kids are really brave, you have to give me some contrast. Show them being afraid and then doing the thing anyway. Don't just...
Yeah, and
no,
that's cool courage.
Awesome.
Yeah, and anyway, so the episode ends there, and then in the encyclopedia we get introduced to Zudomon, and we learn that Zudomon's shell is a trophy one off another Digimon, which we kind of see happen in the evolution sequence, and Koshiro wonders if there's a stock of them, and wonders if the shell is changed depending on the mood, and Koshiro said that he's just going to straight up check next time, and this is a great concept.
I hope that's true. I wish that would be a thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Like, I love, like, the Digimon Encyclopedia is really great with adding in these little, like, what ifs. Like, what if Zudomon's shell was from a different Digimon each time? Like, what if it was from the Shellmon or Shellnumamon or something? It was just a different shell. Like, if it was Shellnumamon, it would just be Zudomon but a snail. Like,
I was even thinking the same shell in terms of design, but like you could have them painted.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, there's a lot of like interesting combinations and like ideas that you can just get from like this silly throwaway line that will never be referenced again. And my a Tamagotchi is going off, my Demon Slayer Tamagotchi. But yeah, I don't know. This is just a great concept of like. Of having, like, not so much species variations, but just sort of, like, slight colour variations depending on maybe the certain area in which Zudomon is from. Maybe the Digimon he gets his shell from isn't from that area, so he gets a different shell.
Or
what if he doesn't have
like,
a shell?
Paintings based on what Zudomon tribe you're in? That'd be down. That'd be rad. I'd be down.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. There's like so much, like, I know it's just a throwaway line and we're never going to get anything from it, but this is like one of the most interesting parts that this episode has put forward of just like different shell. Like, there's so many different ways you can go with this.
What if Digimon were individuals?
Yeah, what if? Like, it's just such a weird throwaway line, and I absolutely love it. Like, the Digimon encyclopedias are just, they feel like they've got more effort written into them than the rest of the plot.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. They're so unwilling to do anything that would involve meaningful progress to the things that are happening in canon.
Yeah.
So all the interesting ideas just get shoved into this one random moment of Koshiro being adorable?
Basically, yeah. Which just, and I'm so glad he didn't have a random line about the pillow, because that feels like
they did that
they're
too
just
much.
Putting in. Yeah, but they also feel like they're putting in that line whenever they can't think of anything else to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I swear, I was expecting another pillow reference, like, oh, Joe has a pillow that he sits to sit on the hard shell. But no, we went on somewhere that's actually like,
kind of fun.
Like, so many thoughts. Like, we're spending far too long talking about this shell idea, but that's because, like...
It was the best part of the episode.
Basically, well, I really did like the Warrior Seijumon part, like, where they were being instinctive and territorial and actual monsters. But, yeah, that's it for the episode.
Yeah.
What were your highlights this week?
Okay, so I definitely ragged on it, but I sort of appreciate that if they're going to do this weird real-world problem thing, that they give me a reasonable answer and make me think Koshiro's capable for being able to do it. Like, that whole thing, I still wish I cared about it. It's like a fairly decent setup to an action movie. They just, like, did not make me care.
Yeah, but they didn't make you care because they didn't spend enough time with it. It was always just quick flashes of what's going on in the human world.
Yeah.
And the characters just sitting on a bench and talking about it for the majority of the time. Like, that was the main plot,
at a minimum, you could have had them, like, try to fight the tiny little baby Digimon doing horrible things. And then also done your thing with the hacking of the boats or whatever. But as it is, it's just like, oh yeah, the Digimon are just standing around going, hey, someone should fix this.
Yeah, basically. But it's mainly because we're going to see what's in the digital world and we're spending so much time with the Taichi Yamato side of things that we don't have time to flesh out the situation in the human world more than just like, there's some problems and Koshiro's going to tell us why it's a problem. Like, and that's basically been it. But I did kind of like how we had Koshiro think up a solution. Like, I did appreciate that. I really liked how they were now in the digital world. Like, that was definitely a highlight just on the basis of, like...
It was a little much the way we did it, because apparently we just have a pair of Jesuses.
It was written in really lazily how they did it, but I'm hopeful that now... Like, I swear our enjoyment of the episodes definitely went down the moment that the the characters that we liked decided to just not be in the show.
Yeah.
Like, I can see a trend in our, like,
it wasn't even on
ratings.
Purpose. They're just like, oh, we're at home. All right,
yeah, it was
let's
just, like,
be at home now and not care about our friends still trapped there.
Yeah, I mean, I know we had a couple of episodes that weren't terrible that we liked. Like, I know that the upgrade episodes we put sort of in the middle of our rankings, but for the most part, all the episodes that have been happening since the whole 4 characters are just hanging out in the real world has been kind of... They've been all low episodes. So hopefully starting next episode when we have all our characters back, it's going to start being good again. I don't know how they're going to... If they're going to focus more on the 4 kids that we haven't seen.
I really hope so, but I have no faith of that. We might... Oh,
yeah, absolutely the same.
If we're lucky, we'll get some focus on Takaru and Hikari and let them say words that are not Oni-chan.
Yeah, basically. And I'd like to see, like, Hikari and Takaru both have characters other than, being the sibling. Like, that's kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, looked like Patamon was going to evolve next time, or at least do something involving wings. So,
and also Patamon is the next the next one we get introduced to.
So I feel like it's going to be an evolution episode.
Yeah, which just like it's fine. Like that means we can. Like I don't have faith for them to do this because they've not really shown me that they can for Takaru. But I hope that we actually get some character development for Takaru rather than like just being the little brother and also Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Like, I don't know.
I am a little over Jesus by now.
Basically, yeah, I'm exceptionally over Jesus.
The spirit has not moved me.
No. I know it's meant to be like December 1st, which is like the first day of Christmas, but I'm already over Jesus.
Yeah.
Do we have any other highlights?
I got A's in all my classes, so that was a cool thing about this week. But otherwise, no.
Highlight, yes.
That was a highlight, not of this episode particularly.
I mean, one of my main highlights, besides the other kids being like relevant again, hopefully, is definitely the territorial monster fight. Like,
I actually, cool. Up until the kids got involved, I was pretty into how like weirdly violent and nature film this whole thing was.
Yeah.
And even with the ending where we just have a shitload of blue data blood coming out of one of the Seadramons was kind of wild. I was into that. I wish we were going to do a little more of that, actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I like... It is nice when we get just like, oh, this Digimon's not evil. This Digimon's just a wild Digimon. And we saw that by the fact that Warrior Seadramon didn't speak. Warrior Seadramon just sort of made noises, which is... It's great. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like when we're actually treating Digimon as monsters and not they're not all like super sentient, super friendly sort of creatures. They can be also monsters and that they want to fight because they want to survive and they want to eat. Like the motivation of them attacking the children was just they wanted to feed. Like that they are hungry. That this is and that they surround their prey and that's just. Mm-hmm. That's just fine. Like, you don't always have to have, like, I am mad at the humans because they are humans and I hate them. Like, you can just say it as simply as they're hungry and they are surviving. And that's kind of how animals do. Mm-hmm. So I like that part. It's a very simple highlight, but it's a highlight for me. And also, it kind of just shows that these creatures are creatures. They're not just all... They're not, like, super smart or, like, living in society. Some of them are just still, like, creatures. And it's nice. I like it.
Yeah, no,
any other highlights?
My cat coming over and wrecking the audio.
Well, that is a cat's highlight.
let's see. No, I think that about does it for me this week.
Yeah, what about lowlights?
I was bored the entire time.
I was bored, but I enjoyed it more than previous episodes. Like, it was very much... It was an episode. It definitely happened.
Yeah.
But there weren't that many highlights, but there weren't that many lowlights either. Like, my main lowlight is just, like, I can't believe that we're just Jesus powering to the digital world. We're not going to explain how we got to the human world. We're not going to really explain why we got to the digital
sort of down for that. I wish that I believed we were going to do something interesting with this. Like, God, give me a time skip and let me just see the team that Hikari leads when she's just the person who can just randomly open the gate. Let me see her do weird magic shit with her life.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to go anywhere with that. I think it's just random, like, homeostasis is calling her. Like, she doesn't have magic, homeostasis does.
Yep, I hate it.
Yeah, but that's kind of like her character up to this point, and will be nothing else.
Ooh.
But yeah, yep.
I wish I could really predict this. It's going to turn out that the person calling her is Maki from the Tri-Universe.
Oh, that would be really cool. And, like, she's been in the digital world the whole time.
Yeah.
And so it is technically homeostasis. Like, homeostasis has, like, permanently, like, ingrained herself within Maki.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that'd be cool.
That'd
like,
be kind of dope.
Actually, like, we have now... now we've seen episode 26. We have 66 episodes. We have 39 full episodes to watch. So they could very well just be doing 02 and then also Try.
Yeah, do a rebuild of Evangelion where the first movie, the first section of plot is a retread, and then you just go off the rails by the end.
That can be really good. Like, you can actually sort of do things with that. Like, I don't know. I'm hopeful, at least. And, do we have any other lowlights? No other lowlights?
No. Boat's doing a midnight bark thing. It was wild.
Yeah. All right. Favorite character. We don't have Stevie's stance yet, as they've yet to provide us with the thoughts, but we will address that when Stevie sends through thoughts. So we'll just move straight on to the favorite character. Quinn, who is your favorite character?
Give me a minute. Who was yours?
Mine was Hikari, just for, like... I know she didn't do much, but I'm just glad that she brought the characters I care about into the plot, basically. So I'm giving it to her just on the basis of that.
I think I'm gonna go with Lilymon for just
That's fair.
Having a pretty good battle shot.
And just, like, saying "excuse me" was definitely like my highlight of just excuse me.
Yeah, that was
like,
real good.
Very much, yeah. Like, I was going to choose Lilymon, but, like, Hikari, also valid. What about the rating for this episode? I probably gave it too high, but I mainly gave it to, one, the characters being relevant again that I like, and also Lilymon's battle shot, and also the bestial fight. So I gave it a 3.5, which is probably too high. It was going to be a 3, but then
I'm
after
gonna
thinking
go with
about
a 2.5.
It's still better than
Yeah,
a lot
this
of
was
the
an improvement.
other episodes.
I didn't actively hate it. I was just kind of bored.
Yeah, which is just kind of like a 2.5 is perfect for that, because that's, like, exactly halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Ranking will be a little bit harder without Stevie. We'll sort of guess where we put it, and then we'll see if Stevie agrees once they watch the episode. But I put this episode in 18th place, so underneath episode 8, The Children's Siege, but above episode 24, The Final Stage, Done Devimon. Quinn, where are we putting this episode?
I think I'm gonna go right above Berdramon's Soars. So let's see, that'd be 1, 2, 3.
That's 18th place.
Yeah. Okay. So right about, well, pretty much exactly the same. Which
we
feels
both
like a
have
pretty
it in
good place to slot this in, unless Stevie really liked this episode.
Yeah, I'll put it in. But we both, though, in the overall, I'm looking at the overall, and we both, episode 24 is above episode 4. Are we going to put it above episode 24 in 17th place, or are we going to put it below episode 24 but above episode 4?
Your call. I'm good either way.
Let's just put it in 18th place for now, and we'll see. So it's just 18th place for you, myself, and the overall, and we'll see how Stevie feels about the episode once they've watched it and once they send their thoughts through. So, yeah. So that was it for the ranking. I will get my questions from YouTube up because I have not opened the question. I don't think we got that many questions on on the last week's episode. Yeah, we only got 3 comments on the video. So first of all, we have Desinformation who asks, whose adventure is it? The kids are just sitting around in a random park in Tokyo playing Battleship, and yeah, it's kind of rough.
Not good.
Like, yeah, no, it is kind of, yeah. Next, we have Ganesh saying, Digimon felt like a symptom rather than a cause. I'm guessing it'll somehow tie to Moon Millenniummon. And maybe, like, that seems to be what Digimon wasn't. Yeah, I'd be absolutely down for that, especially because Dark Knightmon definitely ran off with a crystal that looks like Moon Millenniummon.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, we have Chad also on YouTube saying that this Digimon series is way darker than any before it, and showcases just how dangerous the creatures really are. I think we've had darker, but
yeah, I mean,
like,
we've had tamers put a gun in a child's face.
Yeah, and we had, like, I mean, I know that we had Devimon try to eat a human, which is terrifying, but I think we have had darker before. Like, we've had savers, we've had tamers, even parts of the original adventure had the kids facing doom. And the main thing is that previously we've had kids react the way they should. In this season, they seem fairly okay with the idea of dying.
Yeah, it's a lot. They're also just super okay with the idea of murder.
Basically, yeah, which is, I mean, I know that's to survive, but it just kind of feels weird.
They're
I don't know.
Yeah, like, by the time we've had 3 battles in an hour, like, these kids should be traumatized.
And also, their Digimon should be exhausted.
Tai got vored and just got better.
Yeah, he just sort of said, I don't really remember the part after I got eaten. And I'm like, but you still remembered getting eaten.
You remember getting chewed, correct?
Like, he definitely was eaten. And I feel like he is the most okay with being eaten out of, like, anyone else in the world. Like, I don't know, it is kind of weird.
He got
do we
better.
have any other thoughts? He got a lot better. Do we have any other thoughts?
No.
Okay.
Hopefully this is the start of an uptick.
Alright everyone, join us next time as we cover episode 27, To the New Continent. Do we have any predictions?
Hikari will barely say anything.
Oh, I'm worried that we're going to have Hikari barely saying everything again, because that's just kind of what she does now.
Yep.
Like, I don't want to see that. I don't want... We already had the introduction of TK, which was basically just like, he could only say Oni-chan. Like,
he could still barely say anything else.
Yeah, basically. Like, I really would like some character from TK that isn't just like, he's the little brother, and I don't want more from Hikari than she's a little sister, also Jesus. Like, I just want a little bit more than that.
Yeah, we've had enough.
That's what I want, not what I predict, and my predictions are fairly, like, not so happy, not so hopeful. Yeah, like, at the best case, I can only imagine myself being bored. Like, I can't imagine myself coming in to sit down to record and say, hey, this was the best episode of Digimon out of all the seasons. Like, I don't imagine that start happening anytime soon. I know that a couple of episodes this season have been quite good, but it's been a long time since we had anything that was just sort of just good. And, like, I know every episode that centers around Mimi is good though, so I'm sure we'll have a Mimi episode again soon.
Ah, God, I hope so.
Yeah. Any other predictions?
No.
Alright, so I will read the outro. I'm doing it this time. Stevie and Quinn both were able to do this outro really well. So I'm going to try to say the words description and discussion without flubbing it all. So please, wish me luck.
Ganbare.
And I'm going to start also... Ganbare. I'm also going to try start saying it slowly. Also, if you have the raw to this episode, you would have heard my 70,000 different attempts at saying the intro. I don't know why, I just flubbed at the intro this time, so that's either a terrible sign for how I'm going to read the outro, or it's like maybe I got it out of my system. Alright, I will clear my throat because I have to. Alright, so the link dump's linked in the description, and our Redbubble, which I actually had an email the other day, somebody bought some stickers from us, so if you're listening to this, thank you for buying stickers from our Redbubble. It's art by the wonderful, beautiful Chisai. So check that out on our Redbubble. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us. Oh my gosh. I was doing so well until I email us. Apparently another word I can flub on. Email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on our website LostinTranslationmon.com, where you can vote in polls, check out our release schedule and our blog posts. And you can follow us at Translationmon on Twitter, and you can follow us at Translationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a thread on With the Will and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit. And we'd appreciate it if you were to review us on any podcast listening app service that you use. And I will read it out on the questions part, formerly known as Postmon Pat. So yeah, please do that. You can also donate to on Patreon, which is linked in the description, from as little as $1 a month, and that gets you access to a listener Discord server, but there are higher levels with more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, and more. And thank you to our supporters on Patreon: Joe, Stephen Reeves, who had 164 on Archive Our Own, Kadawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Kyle, Lismet, who is a Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Metal Maimon, Sam, Spiral, Keith from Gone Will Hunting, a Hunter x Hunter rewatch podcast, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, Lucas, Blind Man, and Japhus. And you can also make one donation on PayPal, which we found in the description. It's paypal.me/Airjamon. You can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, which is ko-fi.com/Airdra. So thank you everyone for listening, and Quinn, where can we find you?
I am on holiday, and it's the best, and all y'all for the next 2 months.
Yeah, so thanks for listening, and thank you, of course, Quinn, for joining me, and we will see y'all next time. Bye!
Bye!